beautiful clouds where you are. That's how I know that these worries will not last. I can see you've been crying and staying wide awake, asking yourself why the journey is so tough. They say tough times never last, only tough people do. So don't stop believing, I know it's gonna be better. Say la, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la, 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 ba-dum. Can't be loved by everybody, it's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay, so let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
Here are some stories making the headlines from the regions. Now, residents of Mafi-Tove have raised concerns over schools' infrastructure challenges affecting teaching and learning in the community. The only basic school in the area is on the verge of collapsing due to a dilapidated condition, making it difficult for teachers to accept postings in the community. According to the youth, if urgent action is not taken, the school would collapse, which will further disrupt education in the area. The chairperson for Mafi-Tove Association, Felix Afeti, attributed the lack of development projects to prolong the chieftaincy disputes in the community.
It has become so difficult for us to get together to actually do things to develop. So because of that, development has actually delayed. The assembly, for instance, due to our situation, they are also looking at us like that. Considering our school, for the period, there has not been any development in the school.
The chairman for planning committee for the youth festival, Emmanuel Atide, said the poor condition of the classrooms have created fear among both people and teachers.
The classroom block is leaking and dilapidated because it is very old. When it rains, both pupils and teachers find it difficult to continue teaching and learning. We also do not have a kindergarten block in the community, and this is affecting enrollment and growth of the school.
The assembly member of the Vedo lecture area, Raymond Atitre, noted that another challenge facing the school is the absence of school feeding program in the school.
If the school feeding program is introduced in the school, more children will return to attend the community school. The money parents currently spend on transporting their children from other schools that benefit from the program can be used for other important needs. We therefore appeal to the government to include Tove Basic School in the school feeding program so that the children can also benefit from it.
He said this has forced some parents to transfer their children to other nearby government schools, which is affecting enrollments at the school. Meanwhile, the Mafi-Tove Youth Association has organized a fundraising derby aimed at mobilizing funds to construct a kindergarten block and renovate the dilapidated classrooms to improve teaching and learning conditions in the community. For more stories, kindly log on to our website www.metrotvonline.com and follow us on all social media platforms at Metro TV Ghana.
Na Nikuma Subwa said the engineer PBC 4 Cocoa Cratch 4 one to talk cocoa no normally akoma cocoa board. And she share for a long time to stood the time of time said 21 days as here PBC and the cocoa cratch 4 car. And when was some bonny any time papa was here so only man penny or the kind. PBC for to cocoa ewie bosume baaku mienu miensa enai enum enson ontia PBC for ika. I just said omu diewu nipa no mu kum no ye twa wo mu kra ne se nansen tomati okuwa kratam oba e ono de opɛ so ododo no ho owiem wo aeroplane wato aeroplane baaku mienu miensa enan baaku kra de ese yetimi dware wo mu ne ne yere ne nebusuafo mu dware wo plane ni mu owiem ebufuo sa abɛhyɛ ye minimum sɛ tie nie na cheboy mu bɛka yi a sɛbio ye ka kyerɛ mu Ghana fo ye bɔ mu kɔkɔ ye ka kyerɛ mpatsa papa wei sɛ mutu abamana ɔde sɛbio mpanimoni mu ɔde na ne ne no ɔde baba montie ya kan ba ku montie ni mienu so montie ni impressa so montie so entie ndi owo mbetu kopo na mo mpani se achia sina bebuo nyina ye de ye mpani toto mpani noa 6,000 now can so betia and I am 19 so 6,000 untimi ntua ekufa do bo no fama yen so utimi ehunyansa ekobobosia edit top lane ewiem hyen na utimi hunyansa enkobobosia emfa mbo ekuafo nso amasedia ene na abato du a na wa ma plane na koto abama plane na utimi ewiem no aeroplane ahodo de asabio yetimi dem na oye ne office work wo mu no eduru ho a aeroplane ba koye dan ato abama
president wono the friend the big house wono wo wula open what kwatinase I went to 4 years here then inti banche da forma be bieda wo ya na Ghana for agwawa bi an here then enya Ghana for de inti cho ho wo bi bieda emenu enya to abeti ano enya kufu ado here then ebe wi ni here aku betinase no o kan ye tia tini what can you get here? Some of you are near identity. And yes, I'm 8 years. What dear, what I pray? I can't hear that in 4 years. Another Ghana for the empathy. Saka 4 years, dear. That you 4 years. That you hear that. And try. What by I don't quite some more day. Will be a water parliament to Yasama 4 years. Shejimia would be. Walk at your 4 set. Coco, no dear. Oberto. Thank you. Now, Oberton, 30 something, 40, I think 50. Oh, now the one about the water open on my end. Now I got your mouth 1 million. 30 million.
The first time we met on this road, we met in a town ahead one night. At the time, we thought the project was awarded on contract. It turns out the contractor was not properly mobilized to work. So President Mahama directed that this project be made a big push project because as of that time, there was no known definite source of funding for this project. So it was not going to be done. Nananum, President Mahama will complete this project on time. And this project is asphaltic surfacing. The state of our roads by the time President Mahama took office was very terrible, including this road. So we needed to take certain steps to urgently activate work on this project. As a result, we have to go through a quicker process of procurement and getting contractors on site to make sure we finish this project. But I can guarantee you we have mechanisms within the management of the project to make sure that no contractor takes a CD without working for it. We can guarantee you that. And the quality will not be less than what President Mahama directed us to do. Mr. President, all your big push projects are currently on site. I can tell that some people have done 50% of the works already. This year, we shall actually hand over some of the project. And I want to take the opportunity to appeal to big push contractors. If you were to raise work certificate today, by the end of this month, you will be paid. The president made a commitment to that, and he's fulfilling that. Indeed, when we travel on this road, it is one of the most pathetic roads in the country. Sacks of cashew stuck by the roadside, you hardly see any truck coming to pass. Then you ask yourself, how would the farmer how is the farmer going to be able to get his investment? In other words, people were actually investing and not getting their money back. So, Mr. President, this road, when completed, would actually generate more jobs, will actually create value in this community, and will make our people have a better standard of living.
And you say, oh, Yɛbɛyɛ 24-hour markets. Ɛwɔ Ghana district biara. Enti Ghana ha yɛwɔ districts 261. Na yɛntwa bie nja. Yanka sɛ ɛha ne ɛto aba ma yɛ, ɛha ɔmo anto ama yɛ, enti ɛma ɔmo bi. Obiara 261. Obiara enya 24-hour market TV. Na eyedwa sɛ yɛpia abɔnten na yɛde asɔkɔbɔ fam a mobɛhu ne drawing wɔ hɔ, mobɛhu sɛ nea yɛwia edwa no ɛteɛ. Enti ɛnɛ deɛ ɛba sɛ yɛde asɔ bɛbɔ fam na yɛsi yɛahyɛ ase ɛne dɔma ahenkuro deɛ. Na edwa biara ɛwɔ nneɛma bebree ɛwɔ mu. Yɛwɔ office a ɛyɛ krakye form bɛhwɛ edwa no so. Ɔmo office ɛwɔ dwa no mu. Yɛwɔ daycare center ɛyɛ kindergarten. Nti yɛ maame mo ɛne obi a ɔyɛ adwuma wɔ market no. Sɛ wowɔ wabɔfra a wopɛ sɛ ɔmo hwɛ no so, wode no bɛkɔ daycare center na kindergarten no. Na wotɔn adeɛ no na ɔno nso osua adeɛ. Yɛwɔ beebi a yɛfrɛ no hospitality area. Ɛhɔ ɛna restaurants beebi a yɛtoto nkokɔ nketenkete yɛtoto nam ne adeade. Yɛkyekye nkosua yɛnwaa mu ɛne adeɛ nti ɛkɔm de wa wokɔtena ho a na air conditioning ball na ɛgya wotwa w'anum. Afei so edwa no mu yɛwɔ police station. Nti obi wura hɔ na ɔyɛ sɛ obehwim adeɛ anaasɛ obewie adeɛ akɔ moche na mpatwɔma mombo no mo de police station wɔ hɔ momfa no nkɔma a police for no. Edwa biara nso ɛwɔ fire service station. Nti saa egya hyehyeɛ ne adeade ɛno deɛ fire service no egyina hɔ a. Nti sɛ BBC a ɛnya afei ne ɛkɔfrɛ fire service for ne aka sɛ o yɛkɔhwɛ nsuo aba. Fire service no gyina hɔ a. Afei nso yɛwɔ clinic wɔ mu. Nti sɛ obiara ɛnte apo a ɛno ane sɛ wakɔ clinic hɔ na wakɔgye wayaresa. Afei nso yɛwɔ cold store ɛwɔ mu. Nti wo a wotɔn nam nkokɔ nam fish bibia cold store wɔ hɔ. Nti wentimi anto a wode bɛkɔ akɔhyɛ gu cold store no mu na anopa wasa ɛbɛyi wadeɛ. Yɛwɔ bank wɔ mu. Nti wotɔn wadeɛ a ɛnyɛ ne sɛ wobɛpie fi edwa hɔ aka sɛ wokɔ bank ɛde osika akɔsie. Edwa no mu a bank wɔ hɔ. Nti wura hɔ a na wode osika asie. Yɛhyɛ ase ne Emma Bank a yɛkan no Women's Development Bank.
His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Samre mama no so a na meda na se. Wo hwɛ me nsa nifa se ya obesi market emaye. Sa market yo no wo me nsa nifa hei. Samre mama no so a na meda na se. Yewura market yo obesi yo no nie. Yewura ade ba ko pa a odigya ye agenda 111. Sa hospital ya ojaye no owo amasu yewura opagya no ho pa na ba bia aduru no yewura wada roma akoye bibi se aka ho yewura wabai nim se ho sika no ordene nso yewura hwehwe ba bi na fa beto aso yewura enya agenda 111 amasu nko a ebi wo Ghana mbiaye nyina.
The reason why there's the need to take a closer look at Ghana's compensation are that the 2025 non-oil tax revenue of 183 billion Ghana cedis was only enough to pay for statutory transfers and debt service. After paying statutory funds such as District Assembly Common Fund, Get Fund, National Health Insurance, and debt service, what was left was not enough to settle Ghana's compensation bill. In fact, Government of Ghana had to borrow 17 billion Ghana cedis to augment the compensation bill. Your Excellency, I thank you.
I've been informed of the ruling by the CAF Appeals Board concerning the appeal by Morocco relating to the AFCON Morocco 2025 final match. And I previously expressed my extreme disappointment with the incidences that took place at the final match. And the important thing of what happened on that final match is it undermines the good work that CAF has done over many, many years to ensure that, that there's integrity, that there's respect, that there's ethics, that there's governance, as well as credibility of the results of our football matches. The occurrences, those incidences at the final match of the AFCON Morocco exposes is the work that we are still dealing with concerning the suspicion and distrust. It's a legacy issue. When I became president, one of the major concerns was the impartiality, the independence, and the respect of referees and match commissioners. And a lot of good work has been done, but there continues to be suspicion because it's a legacy issue. It's something that has been there for many, many years, and we consistently deal with that because that's critically important. Another important matter that these incidences at the final match brought to the fore is the independence and the respect of our judicial bodies. In choosing the members of our judicial bodies, we followed a different path, different from what had been the case before. We invited each member association and we invited every zone, the 6 regional areas or the 6 zones in CAF, to give us names of respected judges and respected lawyers, because it is important that the decisions of our disciplinary board, the CAF disciplinary board, and the decisions of the CAF appeals board is viewed with the respect and integrity that's very important to us. So if you look at the composition of those bodies, they reflect some of the most respected lawyers and judges on the continent. And but we will still have to deal with this, with the perceptions and the concerns about the integrity. It's an ongoing issue. We are very clear at CAF that we are enormously committed to ensure that not only in terms of what we do, because we've implemented best practices. We've identified judges and lawyers from every region, from every zone, from the 54 countries in Africa, to make sure that these are people who have integrity and have a track record. And partly the independence is reflected by the decisions that were taken by the 2 bodies. The CAF disciplinary board took one decision. The CAF appeals board took a totally different position. And I'm told that that Senegal is going to appeal, which is very important. Every one of the 54 nations in Africa have a right to pursue their appeals and their advance interests, not only at the highest level in Africa, in CAF, but also the highest body, which is the CAS. And we will adhere and respect the decision that's taken at the highest level. A critical factor is that not a single country in Africa will be treated in a manner that is more preferential or more advantageous or more favorable than any other country on the African continent. We take what has happened at the final match in Morocco during the AFCON, the Total Energies CAF Morocco 2025, we take it very, very seriously. And we have already started with very important steps to make sure that those areas which have been identified as deficiencies and where there's need for improvement, that the necessary resolutions are passed. We have very high standards that we set for ourselves. It is important for us that ordinary football supporters and spectators in every one of the 54 countries in Africa, in their judgment, not in CAF's judgment, not in my judgment, regard the decisions of our judicial bodies as fair, with integrity and impartiality, and what is equally important, that they regard our referees, our VAR operators, and our match commissioners as people who are fair and just, and those decisions that are taken reflects the impartiality and independence that's critically important.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Adu Moro. It's always a pleasure to come your way. It's a Thursday, 19th of March, 2026. And this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say big thanks to the Almighty God for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. And I want to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I also want to say big thanks to you, the audience. We cherish you, we value you, we adore you. We're grateful that you make time for us from Monday to Friday. You tune in from 7 a.m. all the way to 9:55 to watch the show. I know some of you are requesting that we extend the time to about 10:30 or so. We're still trying to make a case before management. We're hoping that at some point management will listen to our appeal or our requests and get the time to be extended to 10:25, because we're here to serve you. What makes you happy makes us happy. Without you, we don't have a business. Yes, our clients are very, very important to us. And so management is listening, management is reviewing some of the requests that we've made, and I'm sure that at the right time, management will come back to us on what the final decision is. I know you want more. You like Good Morning Ghana. You want more. It makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let me start with the newspapers. The newspapers are here with us. There's about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, today I have 4, and there's about 2 which I have electronically, delivered electronically. So I would proceed now and start with the Daily Graphic. Daily Graphic says Ghana tables slavery motion at UN, urges recognition of transatlantic enslavement among greatest crimes against humanity. There's also supplement on Eid al-Fitr. And remember that the Daily Graphic yesterday announced or informed all of us that they'll be off the newsstands from Monday, in fact on Friday and Monday, so that don't go to the newsstands to buy Daily Graphic, because you won't get any to buy. But it says government moves to establish, however, you can go online. There's Daily Graphic online. You can go and read the stories there. So government moves to establish Independent Emoluments Commission. It's also on the front page of today's Daily Graphic. There's a BOG drops policy rate to 14%. Daily Guide says the ENP, the mine acquisition approved in 2024, the scrap 1 cedi fuel levy minority. High Court grants Freddie Blay bail. There's a plane crash victims were sons of the Hebron prayer camp founder. And the Daily Guide is wishing Muslim Ummah a happy Eid al-Fitr. But it also says Friday, March 20 and Monday, March 23, 2026 have been declared holidays for the Eid al-Fitr festivities. In view of this, Daily Guide will be off the newsstands on Friday, Saturday and Monday. We shall, however, return to the newsstands on Tuesday, March 24, 2026. And so I wish our readers, especially the Muslims who are celebrating the end of the month-long Ramadan period of fasting and the intercessions, a wonderful festivities. The insight. Repeal this law. GJA wants repressive electronic communications law axed. There's ex-Belgian diplomat ordered to stand trial over murder of Congo's Lunumba. BOG cuts policy rate to 14% despite Middle East risk. No record of 49.1 million cedis theft in BNC. Witness tells court in a Dubai trial. Ramadan, Palestinian embassy in Ghana donates food items to over 50 women amid escalating Middle East conflict. And there's a beautiful article on why the U.S. wants to destroy Cuba. The New Republic is reporting this morning that 1 year miracle at NIB, how Mohammed's team turned 850 million deficit into 1.5 billion cedis assets in just 1 year. And here I would want to commend Dolewura, who is the managing director of NIB, for doing such a fantastic job. I mean, you take over a company, it owes about 850, and now the company is raking in profit of some 1.5 billion. That's amazing, amazing stuff, incredible stuff. So I want to say big congratulations to Dolewura and Thomas Emisa, who's his deputy, for such a fantastic job. I mean, when you're given a job, the expectation is that you deliver. And when people are delivering, we ought to give them the credit. We ought to commend them. If they are doing a bad job or doing a poor job as well, we ought to make sure that we call them to order and call them out for being incompetent. But in the case of NIB, the chaps, they are doing a good job. And so congrats to Dolewura and Thomas Emisa for doing this, for doing such a good job. There's Katie Hammond cries foul over 89 million cedis audit query, and there's a cabinet okays agribusiness policy. Government draws final line on Galamsey, says days of political cover for illicit gold are over. Another goes ballistic, shows desperation after cocoa propaganda fails. Now, the Business and Financial Times. President emphasizes youth-led agriculture as new frontier. This 24-hour economic success hinges on power cost, explains, there's a complaint, high tariff continue to undermine industry competitiveness. There's BOG lowest rate to 14% on stronger macro backdrop. KEK Reinsurance Brokers, Africa appoints new CEO. Newmont contributes 12.822 billion in fiscal payments last year. Let me look at the daily Searchlight, and here I want to say good morning to you, Ken. Big Ken, how are you? Long time. Anyway, so that's my last one, obviously not the least. It says that Aegis witness tells court in a Dubai trial, no money missing at NSB. And then as GJ president demands depoliticization of securities recruitment as concerns mount over integrity of enlistment process. There's also Bese District Court to rule on preliminary objection in high-profile extradition case Abu Trika. And yeah, so that's it for the papers, the newspapers that we have today. So let me go online and check out what the online portals are also reporting. So I'll start with my Joe Online. It says the minority alleged state capture in mining sector points to Ibrahim Mohammed's influence. There's a Parliament passes Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill, renames NIB to BNI. I totally agree with this, because at some point it was getting confusing. When you say NIB, is it a bank or the BNI? So this is a good one. There's also Ghana's economy now resilient enough to withstand external shocks, according to Mahama. Ghana Deposit Protection Amendment Bill 2025 passed. There's Ghana's fuel supply secure, but prices remain uncertain. Bulk oil distributors. This morning when I checked, it was hovering around $112 per barrel on international world markets. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're going to be paying some more for fuel in the next pricing window. The GJ calls for depoliticization of security recruitment. There's justice for Joynice Latif Idrisu. GJ welcomes out of court settlement. City Newsroom says Galamsey is biggest emerging threat to national security. And there's Randy Abe past borrowing to sustain cocoa prices still hurting sector. Janapo credits domestic gold purchase program for Ghana's economic stability. Professor Janku says Ghana faces economic risk amid Middle East crisis. MetroTVOnline.com. Yours truly, my Metro TV Online. You're truly Metro TV on there. Our MetroTVOnline.com. Says the Akufo-Addo government cleared engineers and planners to negotiate the mine acquisition according to a document. There's MVP USA chairman aspirant calls on diaspora members to mobilize resources for Baumia. There's also Champions League, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich raw through in round of 16 second leg. I can't wait for that mouth-watering game between, Bayern Munich and the Real Madrid. And then there's also Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Big games. Big, massive. There's Salah becomes first African player to score 50 goals in Champions League. There's IES cautions against immediate removal of 1 cedi fuel levy. Parliament approves security agencies bill. And again, the last but obviously not the least is with Ghana Web. This one is a sad one. Children of a popular pastor identified as victims of the tragic Tema helicopter crash. And beyond the headlines, how cocoa marketing actually works in Ghana. And as gold and star oil reduced fuel prices amid a rising competition. Senegal responds to CAF over 2025 AFCON win nullification. That's it with the newspaper and the online portal review. And it's now time for Community Watch. It's our latest baby, our latest addition to the show, Community Watch. We're encouraging people to watch out for the problems and the challenges they have in the community. Share that with us, and we'll share that with the rest of the world, and we can get the duty bearers to deal, fix, and address these concerns. Anyway, so today, blogger Amaya Deborah is appealing to government to have our roads fixed. So Amaya Deborah, thanks for sharing this with us. Let's watch it.
My name is Amaya Deborah, and I have a bit of a complaint to make. So the dust on the road in front of my home is so terrible. It's making living unbearable for me. So please look at it. So dusty. And look, health-wise, my doctor told me dust is not good for me. But beyond that, it's just making a mess out of everything I have worked hard to fix. It's just anytime cars move around, it's even worse. The dust is all over the place. It's just making living unbearable for me, and I'm sure it's similar for those of the other neighbors in the neighborhood. I don't even know what I'm saying, but Lord, it's so terrible. The dust is everywhere, outside, unbearable. No matter how many times you clean it, just look at that. It's terrible. Oh, Mahama, I beg you, please, for my sake, I know you don't know me, but I am a concerned citizen. My life matters. Please, let them fix the road. This is Domiko Abenya constituency, in between Domiko Abenya and a bit of Ayawaso, West Wogon. So Lord, do come to my aid. I beg you. I'm also a human being. I beg you. I beg you. Passionate plea. I know you are listening, President. You have done it for others. If you will not do it at all, let's do it for me. Okay? I beg you. I beg you. Look at the dust. Look at the dust. Look at the dust. Look. I beg you. Mesa de me yema na I can say. Mim said I can, but in say what a cheap until them patcher. Hey, and you grow. Mama, patcher.
That's a famous, popular blogger and vlogger. I mean, they were complaining about the bad roads in somewhere around the Kwabinya area, and is appealing to the government to get these roads fixed. Now, I want to know what one of these days. Let's invite what's the name, the chief executive officer of the coordinator of the DRIP project, Anilante van der Poel. Let's find, because the last time he came here, he told us there were some challenges, and so he's not been able to implement a lot of the things that he intends to do. I think that one of these days we'll have to get him in the studio to ask him about where we are in the scheme of things, whether the funding and the other things that he's requested from the government, whether those things have been granted, and when is he going to hit the ground running and get some of these places fixed, because that's what the whole DRIP, idea was about. Some of these, not major roads, minor roads, just get them fixed as quickly as possible. Of course, in consultation and with a collaboration with Assembly. So maybe one of these days, Bright, let's try and get Anilante van der Poel to join us in the studio and give us some updates. It's extremely important. He's a duty bearer, so he's accountable to us. That's why we're here as media. Okay, so joining us this morning are two very fantastic gentlemen. And, sorry. Okay, so let's take a break. We'll be back.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Have you attained 45 years and older? Notice blood in your stool, a family history of cancer? Then don't wait to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment save lives.
There are weak points in the development and spread of cancers of the large bowel that we have control over to stop, to reduce the incidence and deaths from these cancers. Achieving this success depends on you and me. We are fully prepared. What about you?
Visit Mafi-Tove Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mafi-Tove Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Brush your teeth. Brush 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit's, happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Frammy Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Frammy once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Frammy Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Come tum preko.
Hey, Unia, new release niana. Kaya gum.
A bitino was me new release. Me can no access fit muhono. And na Tebotech Garages Limited. Akwafa besiesi amana aye nitia. Obi ase ye car mu no.
Accident car no na. Tebotech Garages Limited. Amana se gina ne naso sa no.
Me se wo akwafa broni fita engineer efra brochiraba. And wo check cars no. Na wo hunu ba bia fault kro wo. And ho spare parts so wo de hye. Afene si road. And so ho charges kakra bi o.
Tebotech Garages Limited.
Wo ye general servicing. Ebili engine overhauling, engine tuning, oven spraying, general electrical works, air condition installation work, BM, upholstery, gearbox, make a day.
Tebotech Garages Limited.
Apart from sir, car that wotimi ato, and now our Toma one was higher importation of cars and whose spare parts. If la butreba, Wokoto Kamawa, a free.
Ace, also what you call
Tebotech Garages Limited. Our La Paz Malam Road. After Bayard traffic light, wah. Bibiania for 0206 48 1793 and 0542 96 1111. Website tebotechghana.com.
Tebotech Garages Limited.
Hey, kaya will be a benyani.
Tebotech Garages Limited.
Your car beauty and the power boosters.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy man for Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by a man is swing, and a sense of Mama Hoto so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Pro Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation, with special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Pro Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
The reason why there's the need to take a closer look at Ghana's compensation are that the 2025 non-oil tax revenue of 183 billion Ghana cedis was only enough to pay for statutory transfers and debt service. After paying statutory funds such as District Assembly Common Fund, GET Fund, National Health Insurance, and debt service, what was left was not enough to settle Ghana's compensation bill. In fact, government of Ghana had to borrow 17 billion Ghana cedis to augment the compensation bill. Your Excellency, I thank you.
All right, so you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. And what I can tell you, as a matter of fact, is that my guests are seated, and we're going to kickstart the conversation now. The two of them, one of them is not entirely new to this program. He's been here before. One, I believe, is his first time. And but he's a known quantity, as everybody who's been following our politics in this country knows that he's a force to reckon with, as well as far as communicating for his party is concerned. He's here in his capacity, and not just an NDC member, he's also here in his capacity as the Chief Executive Officer for the Social Investment Fund. And I'm talking about the man Abbas Nuruddin. Abbas, good morning.
Good morning, Moro.
I hope you're doing very well.
Alhamdulillah.
Good,
that's what
good.
We Muslims would say, like you said. This is my first time on the show, but I have been an ardent follower
of Good Morning Ghana,
Good Morning Ghana since the days of Shamima Muslim, to Randy Abe, and now to your good self.
Thank you.
If you are...
You know, at some point, Yaro Kasambata.
Yes, Yaro Kasambata.
Yaro
You know?
Kasambata.
If you are a political activist in this country, and you don't watch Good Morning Ghana, then it's like going to Bolaga without going to Tanga. So I've been an ardent follower.
Quintessential of us.
Yeah. I have been an ardent follower of Good Morning Ghana.
Thank you.
And I'm highly privileged to be here this morning. Let me say a warm good morning to
your
my
other brother on
brother.
the other side, eh?
Yeah, even though you have not introduced him yet, let me say a warm good morning to him. And Yaro, you know, tomorrow is Eid. And for those of us who are Muslim, Eid holds significant religious importance in the Islamic calendar. I'm talking about Eid al-Fitr because it marks the end of the obligatory 30 days fasting, which is the fourth pillar of Islam. So on my own behalf and on behalf of the NDC, particularly in the Ashanti region, let's wish our Muslim brothers Eid al-Fitr in advance. And you know, Ramadan in and of itself is supposed to teach us restraint. Restraint from the very vices that has bedeviled us as human beings. And oftentimes as Muslims, we do so well to refrain from all the vices in these 30 days, only to go back to it after Ramadan. So it is our prayer that the spiritual closeness we have attained with our Creator Allah in this Ramadan, particularly the last 10 days where there is a lot of nightly intercessions like the Tahajjud and the Itkaf prayers. May the values we have imbibed within this period be with us now and forevermore. Make us better Muslims, make us good examples for the Muslim Ummah so that people will look at us as good example and come into the religion of Allah. So on this note, let me wish our Muslim brothers in NDC, in Ghana, and in the whole of the world, Eid Mubarak. And your good self tomorrow.
Yes, Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. May Allah accept our prayer. May Allah accept our ibadah. And may Allah make us a better version of ourselves. And that's the whole idea for, undertaking or embarking on this 30-day fasting. It hasn't been easy, but we did. Let me now officially, there was an unofficial introduction. Let me now do the official introduction of a man who's also a very, very, very good friend of mine. So it's almost like a brother to me. I'm talking about the man Fifi Boafo, who is here as a member of the MPP's communications team. At some point, he was almost like not almost, but he was the special aide to the Kukubo Chief Executive Officer. There's an official title, but I think it's escaped me. But he played a very, very key and a very significant role as far as the management of the work of the MD or the Chief Executive Officer of Kukubo is concerned. Fifi, what type of role exactly?
You are manager at the office of the Chief Executive, so you manage the secretariat.
Great. Thanks.
You are leaving one important designation out.
Okay.
He was also the spokesperson to the vice presidential candidate.
Yes, the vice presidential candidate. That's true.
I think the most important one is also the fact that I used to do what you are doing.
Yeah. I was just about to get there. You took the wind out of my field. And he will always tell you once a journalist always.
Oh yeah, sure.
In fact, I think at some point in 2024, you had to go and host a show on One FM, isn't it? Was it 2024 or was last year?
No, I did that. I think it was on Asempa.
Oh, sorry, Asempa.
Yeah.
That's true. And I thought it was quite refreshing, because you had been off media for a while, and so listening to you on Asempa for me was quite refreshing. Anyway, gentlemen, once again, thank you very much, and we're glad to have you join us. We're glad to have you join us.
The pleasure is mine, and I wish all Muslims,
yeah,
even though I am not a Muslim, but I wish all Muslims the best. There's a friend of mine, we used to play football together. Okay. And during the fasting period, you realized he had a bit of a pot belly. But during the fasting period, you realize that he would trim down. Charlie, after the fasting, or brother Charlie, you resume again.
back to this.
Charlie, back to back.
Oh my God! That's one of the challenges. One of the difficult. Maybe that's why Allah, in His own wisdom, has made this a yearly ritual, because I think that he recognizes the difficulties that man made of flesh and blood would face when trying to stay in the straight and narrow.
But I admire the discipline it comes with, because to stay off what days. You are used to for 30 days, it requires a lot of restraints and discipline to do that. And I admire those who are able to do that. Yes, for us as Christians, we also do the Lent, but it is not as popular as the Ramadan fasting the Muslims observe during that period.
Right.
And congratulations to all of you who participated in it. I know some of you did not faithfully participate, but those who were able to do that, Charlie, congratulations. I'm not saying you. I said some people were unable to. But my understanding is that you are still able to do that even after the 30-day period, just in case within the 30-day period you missed part of it. You're able to compensate for it.
If you missed it unintentionally, then you can make up for it. But if you intentionally miss it because you probably wanted to have fun, and the fun can mean different things. That one, there's a whole punishment for that.
There is a class of society that is excluded from fasting. The aged,
Yes.
Those who
have
those who have medical conditions.
Yeah.
So if you have a medical condition that will probably be exacerbated with long periods of not eating, you are excluded.
Yeah.
However, you are supposed to pay an able-bodied Muslim to fast on your behalf. So there is a reason why but for some too, it is intentional. They hide behind that leeway to.
But it's a provision. The provision is that if you are unable to, you can actually pay for someone to.
If you are unable to fast as a result of some compelling reasons, one of which could be medical.
Okay.
Then you are supposed to pay an able-bodied Muslim who is able to fast on your behalf.
All right. So, I think that's there's a culture here when you are occupying a government position and you appear on the show. We try to, get some education on what your office is all about and what your so what basically what do you do? So I want to start with you. Social Investment Fund. Who are you? What do you do? And what have you been up to?
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yes.
Just a quick
publicity.
Just a quick interruption. When he came in, I said, why is he here? Because Ghanaians have employed him.
Okay.
He is supposed to be working for the state, and between 8 to 5 p.m., he's supposed to be at the office. He's not supposed to spend our time sitting on radio doing his work as the Ashanti Regional Communications Officer of the NDC. But it looks like you, Moro, you've decided to find a very beautiful way of letting him escape that blame. So, of course, he's talking about his office, and then as chief executive, yes, he has a responsibility to talk about what he's doing at the office. So, well, I think a paycheck should be in order.
You see, as part of our work.
You know the difficulty that journalists we have when we appear on platforms, the temptation to want to show your journalistic skills is very strong.
Yeah, I know.
You see what you just did? That's what journalists do.
Yes.
They take on how do you call it, our duty bearers and ask very important. But he's asking a very important question. He says that, look, you're supposed to be in the office working, and why are you here? So, do you have any response for him?
No, but of course, you've asked him the questions. He's not talking about his office.
Part of the work of a CEO is to give publicity to the institution that he leads. That is why at Cocoa Board we had Corporate Affairs Directorate. What is Corporate Affairs supposed to do? To more or less publicize the good work the institution is doing and probably ask for collaboration with other state institutions. So part of my work as CEO of Social Investment Fund is to let the whole of Ghana know what we do and seek for
corporate affairs.
Yes, but at my place we don't have corporate affairs, so probably the CEO, being a media person,
the NDC boys want employees.
Having been here,
take that responsibility on yourself.
I have been given the opportunity to do free advertisement for Social Investment Fund. More like you, as Social Investment Fund was formed in 1998 by the African Development Bank, UNDP, Government of Ghana, and OPEC Fund for International Development. Under the Companies Act at the time, to be a company limited by guarantee. Per structure, we are not supposed to be a government-funded institution. We are supposed to be purely donor-funded. We were supposed to be the project implementation unit for all donor-funded agencies. But along the line, it's sad to say that mandate has been diluted because now almost every ministry has its own PIU. So it makes our operation a bit difficult. But in our heydays, we implemented some of the best government social intervention programs. We did the Ghana Poverty Reduction Program 1, Ghana Poverty Reduction Program 2. We implemented the Poverty Alleviation component of EPIC. We did the Urban Development Program. Presently, we have 2 programs running, the Integrated Rural Development Program and the Post-COVID-19 Skill Development and Livelihood Enhancement. So our overarching objective as an institution is poverty alleviation. Okay. And you know, everything can be subsumed under poverty alleviation. So we do infrastructure, and we have the track record of going to the remotest corner of this country where no social institution will go. So we build schools. When we have funding, we build schools in those remote areas, build clinics, markets, provision of water, microcredit, skill development, and the whole lot. So depending on our ability to secure funding, we are able to do a whole lot. And so far, we have the envious track record of being the socially oriented institution that has a lot of physical infrastructure in areas like Lambusie, construction of culverts. You know, in most of the areas in the north, oftentimes the challenge people face is getting their goods from the hinterlands to the market centers. And oftentimes the challenge is just a culvert that will link one particular land area to the other. We have done a lot of that in the north. So as an institution, we do quite well. But the challenge recently is the fatigue in the donor community and the redirection of their focus to eastern areas in the Eastern Europe like Ukraine, and the decision by Donald Trump not to follow through with USAID has made the donor space a bit challenging. Right. But we are exploring other channels to ensure we are able to raise enough funds to embark on our mandate. Like I said, we're supposed to be a project implementation unit for almost all DFI projects. Now, almost every ministry has its own project implementation unit. So getting projects has become a bit of a hassle. Getting projects are now dependent on the lobbying skills of the CEO. Said that if you don't have a CEO who is able to push, the institution will lie fallow for a long time. There was a time that because we did not have any project running for 5 years, the institution was closed down, and about 120 of our workers were sent home. Mm-hmm. So now we are looking at getting a new mandate backed by an act of parliament so that we become a state institution, properly so-called, with a main mandate into corporate social responsibility, or ESG, environment, social, and governance. Get that as a main mandate because it's an emerging area that is unregulated. If you look at environment, social, and governance, it's an emerging area. Bank of Ghana has its own set of rules. The stock exchange has their own set of rules. We want to set ourselves up as that institution that will monitor the ESG compliance of this institution. Then we will do project implementation as supplementary. That way, if we are unable to even get project, we will be able to generate enough revenue from our activities to embark on our core mandate. That said, I think Social Investment Fund, like I said, has done a lot for this country. And if urgent steps are not taken, it may die a natural death as a result of the recent turn of events where donor funding has become very scarce to come by, and there is no main mandate to keep us going.
But you see, I think that yes, that's a valid point. But for me, more fundamentally, is the issue of what I see as a policy inconsistency or a policy incoherence, and what I believe is a policy misalignment. Because you see, you can't set up a fund a social investment fund, and your mandate is clear, as you have, beautifully elucidated. And then you also have ministries, agencies, and departments also having their project implementation units.
Doing the same thing.
So do the same thing that the social investment. So why did you then set it up? Do you get the points I'm making? So I think that for consistency and policy coherency, there should have been a directive that, look, if you want to do A, B, C, D, take it to Abbas Murideen. Do you get the point I'm making? But that will take, it will take beyond the directive, because it appears that the thing about directives is that people can pretend they've not heard it, or even ignore it. But if you have a situation where it is law, and I'm happy you want to take this step, go back to Parliament and get them to review it, your laws that sets the place up. You become an authority, hopefully, and then it would actually be illegal. To set up these units, within your ministry, departments, and agencies. Otherwise, like you said, it will be more.
It will die a natural. It will die a natural. We have two projects that were supposed to close in 2027. It's when I came in that I managed to engage some of our people to get us another project which is coming on stream. So assuming we had not had any project, the institution dies a natural death after 20. So it's like you said, it's a matter, it's a policy issue. It's for government to have a look at the social space or the institution performing these functions and make a determination that all social intervention projects funded by donors should be implemented by SIF. And we would be one of the most well-funded institutions in the country. Thank you for the time to talk about my agency.
I will use my platform to advocate this.
Thank you.
But is the law, are you putting the law together?
Yeah, we met the Parliamentary Select Committee on State Assets, and they were even sad. They never knew that is how we were structured. No, not SIGA. There is another state, there is another parliamentary committee like Public Accounts Committee led by the Member of Parliament for Asante Achim South Jaso. And they have indicated their readiness to help us. We are not backed by an act of parliament. We are not backed by an act of parliament. We are formed under the Companies Act. So we are a company limited by guarantee. So they have indicated their readiness to help us get an act together, go to parliament, get a main mandate, get a source of funding. The challenge also is that because we were supposed to be dependent on donor funding, in the absence of donor funding, you don't get anything from government. So most of our institutions were one-man, most of our departments were one-man departments because outside donor funding, we did not have the capacity to employ. And donor funds are also ring-fenced. That is the challenge. When the donors are bringing the funds, they will come, form a project implementation unit, select just 4 of your members, and let them run as if the institution and the PIU are mutually exclusive. They only fund their activities. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about institutional development. They don't care about the other staff not on the project. So it makes attracting quality human resource to even man the institutions a bit difficult. But I think with the willingness of the sector minister, the willingness of the chief of staff and the president to help, we can turn that institution around. For an institution that has been in existence for 28 years, we don't have any landed property to our name. We are operating from
a rented property.
We are not even a rented. We are squatting on Ministry of Agric property that we call the fund management unit. So I want to be the CEO that will leave a lasting legacy that will sustain SIF as an institution. Otherwise, before we realize the institution will die a natural death, and it would be a dent on a blot on our reputation to have allowed an institution that has served Ghana so well, that has implemented some of our most far-reaching social intervention policies to die a natural death without any major intervention.
Well, you have valid concerns, and yet I think that you've been relatively quiet. I'm not saying you don't talk at all, but you've been relatively quiet. Why?
You see, you as an institution, you don't operate in a vacuum. You have a supervising ministry.
And which ministry?
I think it's that has also been a challenge. The ministry that we are, because we are a company limited by guarantee, we have been left to the vagaries of which minister is strong enough to be able to bring us under them. So at some point, we were under finance. We went under local government. When MPP came, we were pushed under the local Howard Commission's ministry. During the second term, Damboche came in and took it. So the exact supervisory ministry that we are supposed to come under has become even a challenge. But looking at how we were structured, because we were not supposed to be donor funded, because we are not supposed to be government funded and depend solely on donor funding, our natural ministerial ally should be the Ministry of Finance, because it is the Ministry of Finance that has a whole division on external mobilization. Every donor funded agency like the World Bank, IMF, JICA, all of them has a seat. All of them has a desk at the Ministry of Finance.
Right.
So being under the Ministry of Finance ensures closer collaboration with that ERMED division to ensure that we are given the right of first refusal when it comes to this donor-funded project. But I think the Chief of Staff has given us a listening ear. The Sector Minister, Honorable Ato Forson, who has helped us get one project called GW YESCO.
Okay.
The GW YESCO that is supposed to ensure GW YESCO, Ghana Women and Youth Employment and Social Cohesion Program. And it's supposed to be focused in Northern Ghana and Central and Eastern region. So we are thankful to him for that. But I'm looking at sustainability. If this project ends in 2024 and we don't get another one, what happens?
You
so
mean
there is that
2028,
okay. And we don't get another one, what happens?
Yeah.
So I think there is a need for that statutory intervention to make SIF an institution that has perpetual succession that would outlive or other states, because the mandate we perform is key.
Yeah.
If you go to some of the areas and you see the kind of projects we have done, we are the institution that implemented the poverty alleviation component of HIPIC.
Right.
The Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy Program 1 and 2 were all done by SI. So we have a beautiful track record.
Wow.
And there should be statutory intervention to save us from imminent collapse.
It means that we face an existential threat. You risk going coma without a new law.
Yeah.
But then the point
If I bring you and I beg you, let me take a short break. I beg you, let me just take this break because I don't want to cut you when you start flowing.
It was just a quick thing about what he said. He's spoken extensively about the institution, what they've done in the past. But there was one thing I was wondering.
Okay.
He talked about the chief executive and the leadership of the organization's ability to lobby, to get projects being implemented under the agency.
Yeah.
What has he done? The 1 year that he's been in office.
Right.
Is there something to show that, yes, that justifies it? And then I was also worried when he talked about the fact that they still do not even know who their supervising minister is. And that's troubling. Because as an agency that has such limitations, you will need a supervising ministry you can go to, at least to help you push in getting these resources to execute the project you are expected to do so. After a year, in the reset agenda, they still do not know their bearings. That is worrying. Is it a case that the government do not consider it as an important agency? If they do, why are they still not able to find their way? Yes, of course, laws are important. Of course, laws help you in getting things done. But the point is that if the fundamental things are not done, no matter the laws you enact, it will not solve the problem. So I believe that if genuinely the government consider the institution important, certain things ought to be done and done immediately.
Okay.
Are we going on a break? Because let's go and come.
Otherwise,
your sponsors will beat you up.
They'll say don't pay my March salary because I was supposed to go on break and I didn't. So you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please don't go anywhere.
Brush your teeth. Brush,
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger. Chicky chicky whiter. Chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits. Happy smile.
The Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. Hooray! And to commemorate this milestone, the Ghana Exim Bank is hosting a two-day international conference on the theme, A Decade of Enabling Export Trade and Industrial Transformation, Resetting GEXIM for the Next Frontier. The event takes place on the 25th to 26th of March at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, 8 a.m. each day. President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will perform the official opening of the conference. Special guest and speaker, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosue-Jari, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Conference host is Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank. For inquiries, call 0208-541-480 or visit eximbankghana.com/conference to register. Media partners, Daily Graphic, Media General, The Multimedia Group, City FM, Radio Gold and Channel 1 TV. And knowledge partners include IFC and SME Finance Forum.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Wabedum tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya besisia. Abozig. Akiche say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabi o, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, what uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral?
Say a sorry insecticide GB ato a user. Ko pharmacy na shop biamu. Na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu eto akoton a. Ono fra Royal Dutch and Aerofield Trading. Efi spray wo dan wa. Twansima edonu ansa na eradan mu. Nkratui FDA ajatum.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Co-Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Co-Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Every Thursday morning, the spirit of the school come alive. From the marching bands to the dining halls, the fear and the panic stories, the convoys to old students' pride, to unforgettable homecoming moments. Metro TV brings you the School's Homecoming Show live. Relive the glory, celebrate the legacies, reconnect with the memories that shape legends like you. The celebrations, the anniversaries, the homecoming activities, and the legacy projects that you embark in your school. The Metro TV School's Homecoming Show comes to you every Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. live on Metro TV. This is the School's Homecoming Show live on Metro TV.
All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. I'm here with Mr. Fifi Boafo. Mr. Fifi Boafo is a member of the MPP's communications team. He's always, for 20-something years, has been practicing journalism. And so sometimes, bear with him, he can be a bit overbearing because the journalism thing is still very strong. And in fact, one of these days, I'll be asking whether he'll be returning to the studios to basically own a show, but that's another conversation for another day. Also here with me is Abbas Nuruddin. Abbas Nuruddin is currently the Ashanti Regional Communications Officer of the NDC. He's a lawyer, actually. That's one of the things that he doesn't like to talk about a lot, but yeah, he's a lawyer. And so maybe I want to use this occasion to congratulate him for his being called to the bar. Congrats, Abbas.
Thank you. Thank you, even though that was 3 years ago. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Thanks for the belated congratulations. You see,
because you see, when you were called to the bar, you didn't come here.
Yeah, that is the issue.
Now you're here.
That is the issue.
Let me now congratulate you.
Thank you.
But he's the Chief Executive Officer of the Social Investment Fund. And so he's a man who's wearing a number of other hats. He has some aspirations, but that one he's thinking about it. When he's ready, he'll tell us. He'll tell me, myself and Fifi Boafo. But Fifi Boafo says before he tells him, he knows.
Don't be swayed by Fifi Boafo's propaganda. Don't be swayed.
Discover MNC Group Global, your #1 partner in minerals and food commodities trading. They are also into real estate development and general logistics, procurement, management consultants, investment advisory, export and import. With headquarters in East Legon, Accra, Ghana, MNC Group has offices in Dubai, Hong Kong, Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa. They're also in Virginia, USA. They're also in Arezzo in Italy, Hanover in Germany. We connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. Trust us to maximize your value in every deal. Reach us on MNC Group at mncgroup.com or call 0302 998 246. So 0302 998 246 or 0265 505337. I repeat that again. 0265 505337 or 056 103 2252. 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. Do business with MNC Group and thank me later. Now, let me also bring this to your attention. It's extremely important as well. So, I've got a very important information from Pepsodent as well. Now, Pepsodent, in collaboration with Metro TV, is organizing what we call the Dental Check-Up. So Pepsodent is inviting you to a free dental screening at our premises here at Metro Television. And it's happening, or it's coming off on Monday, 23rd March, and it's throughout the day. So come and get your teeth checked by professional dentists, receive expert advice, and learn how to keep your smile healthy. You see, yes, because I use Pepsodent, so I can confidently do that. So at no cost to you, yes, Pepsodent. So, but remember to do the two with Pepsodent. Yeah, brush your teeth in the morning with Pepsodent. Do the same in the evening as well. So Monday, let's meet here and get our stuff checked for us. Pepsodent is doing that for us as well. And then again, I've got some other announcement that I need to share with you. I will. Good. So it's about Agrotech. Yes, Agrotech is happening at the Independence Square. And let me share with you why you ought to be a participant in this all-important exhibition event. So are you an agro-processing equipment manufacturer or a manufacturer of any agri-machinery? Do you have any innovation or technology that can improve agro-processing? Register to join an exhibit at the Made in Ghana Agricultural and Agro-Processing Technology Fair, Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair, being organized by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, is in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank and is seeking to showcase locally manufactured agri-machinery implements and agro-processing equipment and technologies. So the fair will also market linkages between technology developers, agro-industrial businesses, farmers, fishers, and exporters. President John Dramani Mahama is the one who opened the fair 2 days ago, and today is actually the last day. It starts on the 17th and is ending today, 19th March 2026. So go to the Independence Square at 9 a.m. and participate in this all-important event. If you want to exhibit, I doubt if you can exhibit now because today is the last, but anyway, I'm being told to tell you that you can still go and exhibit. Kindly call the number 0242 585419, 0242 585419, or 055 967 9326. So 055 967 9326 to register. The general public is invited to Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology. The media partners are City FM, Channel 1 TV, Radio Gold, Daily Graphic, Media General, and Metro Television. There's a conference that's coming up as well, and the Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. Hooray! Congratulations! It's time to pop champagne, isn't it? Anyway, the bank is hosting an international conference on the theme, A Decade of Enabling Export Trade and Industrial Transformation, Resetting GEXIM, the Next Frontier. And that is happening from the 25th, and it ends on the 26th of March 2026 at the Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel from 8 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be performing the official opening of the conference, and this event is bringing together captains of industry, thought leaders, decision makers in the global development finance ecosystem to deliberate on emerging issues in the development of the finance space. Call 0208 541 480, 0208 541 480 for inquiries, or visit www.eximbankghana.com /conference to register. The conference host is Honorable Sylvester Edina Mensah, Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, and media partners are Daily Graphic, Media General, City FM, Radio Go, Channel 1 TV, Multimedia Group, and Metro Television. The knowledge partners are IFC and SME Finance Forum. Gentlemen, I want us to wrap up on this quickly because we have two important conversations to have, but at the same time, the show ends at 9:30. So, your concluding remarks on some of the things that
Fifi was trying to, I don't want to say be a bit mischievous, but I think, like I said, as CEO, when I got in there, I sat with my team, and we developed some short to medium term goals and then long term. So our short term goal was to get another project to keep us afloat for the next 4 years, which with the help of the finance ministry we've been able to do. And we are looking at sustainability. Because if you are a CEO and you are looking only at the now, then it means you are not helping matters. So how do we grant that institution that semblance of permanence so that even after Abbas Nuruddin as CEO, the institution will be up and running and others will come and pick up from where we left. And that, like I said, we have engaged various institutions, various ministries and agencies, the chief of staff. And so far, we are very encouraged by the readiness of the Parliamentary Select Committee on State Assets to help us get a bill quickly put in place and guide us through Parliament to get it passed so that we would be an institution that has a bit of government subvention, that has a main mandate, and then we will do project implementation as a supplement. His bit about government not showing seriousness or attaching importance to my institution, I think was a bit unfortunate and mischievous. Like I said, per the way SIF as an institution is structured, we are supposed to perform cross-cutting functions, such that at any point in time, we can have projects that we run with 5 ministries. If we have a project that has rural development component, we are supposed to run it with the local government ministry. If we have a project that has a microcredit component, we are supposed to run it with finance. If we have a project that has an agri component, we are supposed to run as agri. So probably it's because of that structure. That is why it is very difficult to box us straightly under one particular ministry. But all of these are issues that can be looked at the policy design or the statutory design stage to look critically at the functions social investment fund performs and probably fixes permanently under one particular ministry. So SIF is not an institution that has been abandoned by the John Dramani Mahama administration. Our problem predates the John Dramani Mahama administration. In fact, most of the period that SIF did very well was under the past NDC administration, because at the time we had about 4 or 5 projects. But it was when the MPP came in that most of the projects that were supposed to come to SIF naturally, some of these institutions, some of these politically exposed people formed their own PIU. One of our projects, Miracle Abajo was the coordinator. Right. Very unfortunate. You get a point. So, Fifi.
It's unfair.
Oh, but you see, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying out of malice. Maybe let me explain myself. Let me explain myself.
Very unfair. You know what? Listen.
Fifi, just allow me.
I was here when I only.
Let me conclude. Then you come in.
I only raised some legitimate concerns, and my expectation was that you take them on board and deal with it. You decide to call it unfortunate, but of course you sit at the office. You know the challenges you face. I asked this very, very important question. What have you done the 1 year that you've been in that office?
A lot has been done.
What have you done? What are the projects you are running? But to come and say that, well, because Miracles Abuaje was in charge
I said that. You see, let me tell you.
Was it out of place?
You didn't let me land.
No,
but
then
under the MPP,
you created an impression that this was a politically exposed person who was handed over the project to handle.
Okay, let me give you a bit of context so that you are able.
That's not fair.
Moro, under MPP, we were under the local government ministry. So the assumption is that every donor-funded project was supposed to be run by the Social Investment Fund under MPP. Okay. Under the same MPP, there were 3 donor-funded projects under local government. Soku, secondary cities, Gaslip. All these were supposed to be implemented by Social Investment Fund. But some way, somehow, Miracle Abuaje was the coordinator for the secondary cities.
Was he not a staff of the government?
No. You see, I'm not saying that.
But the question you need to ask yourself is Ministry of Local Government under John Mahama implementing any project which your office could have implemented?
No, we don't have any. Ministry of Local Government doesn't have any project yet.
Yes.
Under
I like the fact that you say yet. But you see, what you need to accept is the fact that there will be a bit of some turf war within government agencies. People will want to implement projects. I only brought in the point that find a ministry, lobby and be placed under a ministry where you can fall on for support. So to now bring in Miracles Abuaji,
that was just an example.
Miracles Abuaji was doing that as a private person somewhere.
That was just an
This
example.
was a government official who was given a responsibility to perform. He performed that responsibility, and you blame him for that?
No,
I think it's unfair.
I was giving an example of the reasons why SIF as an institution
has
been deprived of its core mandate and the reason for statutory intervention. Okay. If it were left to me, Abbas as CEO alone, presently, I would say I'm doing fine with the project that is coming on stream. At least it is it's supposed to be more than $50 million. But I'm looking at sustainability. Right. What happens after Abbas Nuruddin when a CEO comes and is unable to get a project ahead? So it is not necessarily about me. It's about how we are able to make SIF a perpetual succession that will sit and perform its mandate of poverty alleviation till the end of time.
I want us to move on, but if you indulge me 5 seconds. But one important thing he has to also take on board is the fact that the NDC young men and women who campaigned across the length and breadth of our country, if you go on social media, and I'm sure his phone, if he checks on his phone, they are on daily basis asking for employment. They believe that the promise to give them jobs, government has failed woefully. He's talking about the fact that he doesn't have a PR in his office and he's doing PR himself. You are communications officer. The Ashanti region constituency communication officers, among others. Why are you not employing them? Okay. Let's move on.
Fifi is now veering into.
The finance minister has been engaging not just labor, but he's also been engaging Ghanaians, and he's been expressing some difficulties that the government has had to encounter, or as the government is facing, in doing two things: in increasing the base pay for workers and also recruiting a lot more people into the public sector. I want us to watch this video briefly.
The reason why there's the need to take a closer look at Ghana's compensation are that the 2025 non-oil tax revenue of 183 billion Ghana cedis was only enough to pay for statutory transfers and debt service. After paying statutory funds such as District Assembly Common Fund, Get Fund, National Health Insurance, and debt service, what was left was not enough to settle Ghana's compensation bill. In fact, government of Ghana had to borrow 17 billion Ghana cedis to augment the compensation bill. Your Excellency, I thank you.
All right, so that's the finance minister. He said this at a meeting with organized labor. The president himself was there, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, where the finance minister was outlining the growing pressure on the public sector wage bill on government finances. So as you did hear him say that the Ghana spends 44% of its total tax revenue. I'm not talking this tax, not non-tax, tax revenue. So non-tax will be levies, fees, charges, and so on and so forth. I mean, royalties and so on. Those ones will come out of non-tax. But this is tax. I mean, when you go, you buy something, you pay tax. When we collect all that money, we spend 44% on paying workers of this country. Now, we're told that this significantly exceeds the ECOWAS recommended threshold of 35%. We've all agreed. Don't use more than 35% of the taxes you collect in paying your workers. But we are hovering around 44%. Now, he's also revealed that out of the total tax revenue of 183 billion in 2025, statutory obligations, including transfers to DACF, Get Fund, NHIL, and debt servicing, consumed 122.1 billion cedis, leaving only 61.9 billion available for CAPEX, or say for infrastructure. Now, if you look at the infrastructure deficits that Ghana has, I mean, this one pales into insignificance. It's a drop in the ocean. So the government's wage bill alone, it says, amounts to 78.9 billion, creating a financing gap that forced the state to borrow approximately 17 billion cedis just to meet salary obligations. Now, Dr. Forson is emphasizing that the combined burden of wages, debt servicing, and statutory transfers exceeded total tax revenue, effectively crowding out other critical expenditure. He's warning that under the current fiscal conditions, the government lacks the financial space to adequately invest in essential infrastructure such as schools, hospitals, and roads. The finance minister notes that while fair remuneration remains a constitutional obligation, the current trajectory of public sector compensation poses a significant structural risk to fiscal sustainability and service delivery. He's stressing the need for careful management of the wage growth alongside broader fiscal reforms to restore balance and create room for development spending. All right, so here we are. But of course, the finance minister says that the government will still have to recruit people into the public sector. Let me start with Abbas. Have you always known this?
Yeah. Moro, I think every Ghanaian who has followed economic metrics would not be surprised by this revelation by the finance minister. In fact, Moro, one particular budget item that poses serious fiscal risk to us as a country is the ballooning wage bill. And this was even heightened in the period immediately after the implementation of the single spine salary structure in 2009, right, where we had to spend 70% at a time of our tax revenue just on the wage bill. 70% in 2009, 2010, when the single spine salary structure, 70% of our tax revenue. With the passage of time, we've done quite well with revenue mobilization, and now the percentage of tax revenue as a component of compensation is 44%, which is still quite high looking at the ECOWAS threshold. What this means is that a huge component of our tax revenue is going to pay salaries of public sector workers. Then the question a lot of people are asking is that, are we getting value for money for this ballooning wage bill in terms of productivity? Are the production levels commensurate with this increase in public sector wage bill? Because the current levels of the public salary structure, as unequal as it is unsustainable. It will, if not corrected, it will plunge us back into that economic mess that we found ourselves in 2022 as a result of the fiscal recklessness of the past administration. And the statistics put forth by the finance minister was quite revealing that as a country in 2025, our non-tax oil revenue, that is the tax we our non-oil tax revenue, our tax revenue minus the royalties we receive from the oil companies, stood at 183 billion. And out of that, if you take statutory transfer, that is payment to the District Assembly Common Fund, payment to Get Fund, payment to the National Health Insurance Levy, and our debt servicing obligation, i.e. the interest payment we pay on loans we have secured previously, and the amortization of the principal themselves, very little is left for compensation to pay government workers. Said that government had to go and borrow 17 billion in order to pay public sector workers. How sustainable is this model? Because every economist will tell you that if government want to borrow, it must borrow to invest, not borrow and spend on consumption, because nothing productive comes out of consumption, or the benefit we receive from payment of compensation, some are intangible, some are long-term, like the teachers we are paying. We don't receive anything in tangible terms, but in the long term, it contributes to the human resource development of the country.
Right.
But government must borrow to invest in the productive sectors of the economy so that the economy will expand, more revenue will be generated, and then the workers who contributed in generating that huge public pie will have a fair share. So I think Honorable Atuforsen has been very forthright. He's been very candid by letting the people know that it is not as a result of sheer wickedness that he is churning out some of the policies or putting in place some of the fiscal restraints he's putting in place. But if we don't go on the path of fiscal discipline, our economy will end up collapsing. And I saw another statistic that is quite disturbing, that in just 2024, the review of conditions of services alone added 2.4 billion to the wage bill.
Whoa.
2024, with the Ministry of Education leading the charge with 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion out of the 2.4 billion that was added to the wage bill. In 2025, we added 6 billion to the wage bill, and the Ministry of Interior alone added 5.7 billion. Listen to this.
Yeah. 6
billion added to the wage bill in 2025, and 5.7 is from the Ministry of Interior. Where is this coming from? Is this recruitment that we are talking about? Recruitment into the government agencies that has become a major issue now. Out of 6 billion added, 5.7 billion. And the difficult aspect of it is that if you go to some of these immigration offices at our immigration centers, and you know some of them are going to work once a week.
Once a week?
Once a week.
And
at most twice a week, because they are overcrowded.
I mean, there's no space.
Yes.
For people to sit and work.
I'm telling you, go to most of the offices. Immigration officers that are supposed to go to work 30 days a week to give government value for money. Some are going to work once a week. Some are going to work twice a week. And they are being paid. They have become a burden on the national purse. And most of these reasons, the reasons for these recruitments were largely political. We can't continue to allow political consideration to throw the fiscal structure the finance ministry has created off balance. We must get to a point where we bite the bullet and let the people know the financial situation we inherited, tie our belt ourselves as government, and urge organized labor and various political actors to also tie their belt. Recently, you go around, you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, finance minister is not doing this, finance minister is not doing that, finance minister is not giving clearance for this." But in law, there is a basic principle that you can't give what you don't have. Moro, if you don't have a phone, can you give me a phone? If we don't have the money, how do we spend? It is the same thing the MPP did that led us into a fiscal deficit of 15%, an inflation of 54% in 2022, an interest rate of 28%. That threw the economic gains we made post IMF off balance. Are we expecting the NDC? And the reason why Ghanaians voted for the NDC is because they believe the NDC led by John Mahama were preaching a departure from the norm. So if you are an NDC person and you campaign for John Mahama and you led the charge to get Mahama elected, know that President Mahama came on the back of serious reforms that will give the economy some respite, that will give the economy some breathing space to at least invest in productive sectors so that we expand the economy so that more people can be employed. Then there are other issues that I think we need to look at. And this has to do with investment in productive sectors like provision of road, provision of schools, provision of hospitals. You know, in economics, there is something the economists call opportunity cost. If you are spending all your tax revenue on the wage bill, it means very little is left for roads to be constructed. Very little is left for our hospitals to be equipped. Very little is left for schools to be built. But we are the same people. I saw Ameya Debra on TV asking government to construct their road. Where is the money supposed to come from? When we are expanding all our tax revenue on the wage bill, and we are not getting so much by way of productivity. So I think as a people, we must begin to accept that we are in a deep economic crisis. As a country, we don't produce much. We are import dependent. So most of the activities, economic activities that would help grow our economy has been outsourced. All we have to rely on is our tax revenue. And there are a lot of leakages in our tax generation system. And recently, the expose at the port, where at just one instance, the state was losing 85 million Ghana cedis, 850 billion old Ghana cedis, just at one instance. So imagine if these people are able to do this 3 times a week, even 3 times a week, and 15 times in a month. Imagine the amount of money the state is losing. So we must begin to plug the loopholes in our tax generation system. It is in this regard that I believe the directive by the Ministry of Finance and Customs Division to ban the land transit of certain items like rice, cooking oil, spaghetti, that has been used as a ruse to deprive the state of much needed tax revenue. It is in this regard that I think is a step in the right direction. We must also look at widening the tax net. The only way we can generate more revenue now, we have only 2 ways to generate more revenue. One, introduction of tax, which is a no-no. Widening the tax net, which is quite feasible and a possibility. How do we widen the tax net such that those in the informal sector, 85% of the Ghanaian economy is led by the informal sector. It's 20% of the Ghanaian economy, less than 20% of the Ghanaian economy is formalized. But it is in the informal sector that the mechanism for raking in more tax is very difficult. Apart from the indirect taxes or the value-added tax they pay on the goods they buy, in terms of direct tax, we are very much limited. So as a country, we need to widen the tax net, rake in more revenue, cut waste. And I think Ato Forson has done quite well. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has done well in cutting the waste that we experienced from the previous administration, where at a certain point in time, we had 125 ministers. Now we have about 58 ministers. By this singular act, government has saved the nation about 9 billion Ghana cedis in a period of 8 years. At the various MMDAs, measures have been put in place to ensure that people cannot sit at their own backyard and saddle government with financial obligation. The introduction of commitment controls, the introduction of the commitment authorization, where you have to submit your annual work plan and budget to finance first to ensure that whatever procurement activity you want to do is within budget.
Okay.
The activity is subject to anti-corruption audit to ensure that it is free from any scandal and all of that. All of that has contributed in ensuring that government remain within its lane. Government spends within its fiscal.
Actually, yesterday in Parliament, there was a big debate about the value for money law.
Yes.
Which
the Finance Minister want to introduce. Yeah. All these are part of measures to ensure that public sector workers or political appointees do the right thing. Because human beings by nature are very stubborn. If you leave them to their own devices, they wouldn't want to do the right thing. And then President Mahama wants to take one bold move to address the salary disparities in the public sector by the setting up of the Independent Emolument Commission. Right. I think it is a step in the right direction that we should all support, because I don't understand why somebody who is part of Article 71 office holders will be given ex gratia every 4 years. So if you are a medical doctor, an ordinary medical doctor,
please do well to learn so that I can bring
I'm coming. If you are an ordinary medical doctor, you perform the same service as the doctor of the president. By virtue of the fact that you are part of that, you receive an end of service package that is sometimes 100 times that. It is these salary disparities creates a lot of distortions, and immediately the salary and emoluments committee reviews salary upward. It triggers a cascading effect of demands from labor that if the economy is good enough to sustain your own upward adjustment, then it should be good enough for us to also. So I think we need a well-structured, equal structure that would put all of us, from the president to the security, the least paid security, on the same salary structure and streamline. You know, some of the challenges that we face as a country is the allowances. The allowances are sometimes even more than the pay. And there are other state institutions like the Judicial Service, the Electoral Commission, that sit at their own backyard, determine their own conditions of service without recourse to the finance minister, and later burden the consolidated fund. So I think anything that would be a charge on the consolidated fund, the finance minister should be in the know so that he will be in a position to determine whether, given the fiscal arrangement we have, we will be able to absorb such. So I think the labor demands are legitimate. In conclusion, the salary structure is a bit unequal. There is the need for it to be streamlined within the fiscal arrangement so that we will not go back to that vicious cycle of economic boom and bust where the NDC comes and set the economy right and the MPP will come and throw everything off balance. Thank you very much.
Okay. Fifi.
Yes, thank you. Abbas said one thing, and I want to re-emphasize what he said. After 1 year of the resetting agenda, Abbas on this show says, and I quote, "We are in deep economic crisis." These were the words of Abbas, that we are in deep economic crisis. And that is his verdict.
Deep economic crisis because, you are misquoting me. You are what I said is that
listeners, viewers are watching us, they heard you.
But if you have to borrow 17 million to pay public sector workers, are we not in crisis? And the crisis was caused by the reckless economic mismanagement of the past administration. I'm not letting him misquote me. If you want to quote me, put me in the proper context.
I only said, I'll make my point. I'm just starting. I'm only re-emphasizing what he said, that we are in deep economic crisis. The finance minister, the last 1 year, we've been told that he's done a fantastic job. All the indicators are showing that we are doing very well as a country. So if we are doing well as a country after 1 year, and then a member of the team refers to the situation as one of deep crisis, that is worrying.
But that's relative to the issue of the wage bill.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
The issue of the wage bill, which the finance minister talked about, I like the question you asked in starting this conversation. Is this new? Is Atuforsen now realizing that this is the situation we find ourselves in as a country? Bear in mind, Atuforsen once served as a deputy finance minister. After that, he became the ranking member for the Finance Committee of Parliament until his elevation to the position of the minority leader in Parliament. So this cannot be a new thing to Atuforsen. So if it comes out today to talk about it as though it's something new, we are now realizing that indeed the wage bill was high. It's surprising because Atuforsen has been in the seat at least for over a year. He has been in Parliament reviewing all the finance indicators of our country. So this cannot be something new for him to act as though it's something that he did not anticipate. And now he's confronted with that. So this is not something new. And he should not pretend as though, well, he has done all the right things and something unfortunate, unexpected has happened and he has to deal with it. We talked about the commitment authorization which government is implementing. And at the time, and you know, it is actually the finance ministry that is tasked to deal with that. The finance minister, who is expecting all the MNDAs to come to him and say that before you spend, I must check and be sure that we have funds before you can spend, says that, well, he has to go for extra 17 billion before he can pay the people. Was he not aware of that? How did he start? Was that not captured in his budget? So the question you ask yourself is that, how loyal is he to that commitment authorization arrangement he has in his own office? How loyal is he to that arrangement? Because if he was that loyal to that arrangement, this should not come to us as a surprise. And he said something very, very, very troubling. He said that the officers with the immigration service, instead of going to work 5 times a week, they only go to work once a week, and they are paid. And government is continuously paying these people. Are you aware that government at the moment is in the process of hiring more people into the immigration service? So if we know as a government that people are earning income for no work done, and it is just because there's no work for them to do, why is government employing more people to also go and sit idle and for us to pay them? At the time we are saying that it is not necessary to add on. He said it's because of political consideration. That is why the MPP administration hired these people, and they are sitting idle getting paid. But today, his government is employing more people. So what is the justification for that decision? The more worrying is the fact that when government has said that, well, we are going to employ 5,000 people, or we are employing 10,000 people, because that is what budget has been provided for. The moment the president realized the reaction after the fact that only 5,000 people are getting employed, and then already we've sold false for about 500,000 people, the president says that I have given instructions for an extra number of people to be employed to go and do what? If you say that there's no job for them, why are you giving instructions for more people to be employed? To go and sit idle and get paid and come to us and complain about the wage bill? That is recklessness. That is irresponsibility. And that's the wrong thing to do as a government. I am not saying that those people don't have work to do. You are telling us that they don't have anything to do. They are only getting paid. They are getting paid because of a political pressure from your party members. And you are not only employing, you are actually asking that more people are employed to go and sit idle and get paid. For your finance minister to come and complain to Ghanaians that, hey, I'm in trouble. I don't have money to pay the people. I have to go for 17 billion to pay them. This is not only going to worsen the situation, this is going to create more problem. What the president did is not solving the problem, but rather creating more problem. Yes, we agree to the fact that the 5,000 was not sufficient because you have a lot more young people who are ready to work. And then there's a need for us to create opportunity for these young people. The fact that you add 5,000 more, it has not solved the problem. More, it's 5,000 out of 500,000. So the complaints will still be there. But the truth is that this extra 5,000 you are adding to it is going to exacerbate the problem you already have on the wage bill. So sorry to ask, what was the reasoning behind the decision by the president to add on? Do I borrow Abbas's assertion that it's just out of political pressure? But would this be able to also address the pressure that you are getting from your party members? But one thing you need to note, I remember when the budget debate was ongoing in Parliament, the former Information and Works and Housing Minister, Kojo Oponkroma, talked about the fact that government has decided to review some taxes And those taxes, government was commending itself that, well, they've done a fantastic job by taking off those taxes. Without taking into consideration the gap it creates in government revenue and government's ability to perform some responsibilities of government, for example, paying employees and then also taking infrastructure projects. And of course, investing in projects that will rather help us expand our economy. But the government said, well, what Kojo was saying, what the minority was saying, was not the way to go, and they had done the right thing. So you ask yourself today, are they happy with the decision they took? Has it given us results? Has it improved us as a country? Are we in a better situation at the moment? The answer, I'm sure, is obvious for us to know that it was not a prudent decision for the government to take. Another thing we need to note.
Well, Fifi, before you move to your next issue, you know, the issue about the taxes and the removal of same, as the NDC advocated in opposition, and they had promised, you know, the electorate or Ghanaians that when they come, they will take out some taxes that they believe were nuisance taxes. Now, two things. I recall at the time, it wasn't just the NDC, there was Labour. There was the Ghana Employers Association. There were all kinds of labor groups that came out to say, for instance, if you take e-levy, there are serious issues with e-levy because they felt it was counterproductive. You want to grow the digital space. Why then do you tax people for wanting to grow that when you, at the same time you want to grow the digital space or the digital economy? Now, my question to you is that, and again, before I even ask the question, I recall that at the time, the MPP had also agreed that rather than piling up more levies and taxes, it was always important to grow the tax base or to broaden it in order to capture some other segment of society who are not paying direct tax, not indirect tax. I don't think that in principle you disagree with the NDC in that, which is instead of piling up more taxes, rather broaden it and rope in more people, as Abbas Nuruddin has just said when he was making his case much earlier. Do you disagree that rather than piling up more levies and taxes, grow the tax base and bring in more people into the tax net?
Well, it is the duty of government to raise revenue. Use that revenue to develop the state. Have they done that? I think the conversation on this table is one that depicts the fact that government has not been able to raise enough revenue to execute programs and projects of the government. And that's what we are discussing. There's some praises the finance minister has been receiving, that he's managed the economy so well. Do you know that it is part of the responsibilities of the finance minister to ensure revenue generation as a country?
Absolutely.
So if the finance minister is complaining that his responsibility of raising revenue for the country, he has not lived up to that expectation, are we to blame the MPP for it? Because he sought to create the impression, well, the recklessness of the MPP, the usual rhetorics of the NDC. But it is the responsibility of the finance ministry, it is the responsibility of government to raise revenue. So if you tell us as a people that, well, I'm going to expand the tax brackets, getting more people, and then let others have a bit of relief. Before you expand it, you take off the taxes that were already in existence and fail to expand it. Have you solved the problem? Because if indeed, yes, it was nuisance tax, yes, it was not necessary, so you have to take it off. But what do you substitute that with? It is for us rather to say that our roads will not be constructed. Our schools will stay in a deplorable state. But talking about the employment, the people who are today saying that the wage bill is too big and then the people are not even giving us value for money, are these not the persons who told us that one job, 3 people will have to do it? One job, 3 shifts, 3 people. They are yet to even start that. That has not kicked in yet. The 24-hour economy, where we are, in fact, it is the reason why a lot of the young people in our country were clamoring for the NDC. Bring them on. Why not? There will be one job, 3 people. People will go to work from 8 to 5, others will go from 5 to midnight, and then others will start from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. This is yet to kick in.
Okay.
So, and already we are complaining. I guess it is a signal to every young person watching us on this network that the NDC is telling us, you know what, we don't have space for you. There's nothing for you to do. We are not going to create any extra job for you to benefit, because already we are choked and they are not in a position to create extra jobs for the people of this country. But one thing you referred to was the value for money office, which yesterday came up in Parliament.
Yes.
For me, I share the view of the minority that this is needless. And it's going to create another layer of corruption in our country. To be brutally honest with you, it's going to be another layer of corruption in our country. You know what? The existing arrangements we have in our country, where, okay, these approvals become a conduit where people sit and say that, well, you know you are not supposed to spend X, but if you want me to give you the approval, you have to do the needful. It's going to be another office where political apparatchiks will be placed there for them to ask people to do the needful before their projects are approved. It is needless. There are already existing arrangements in our governance structure that should be able to take care of it. We do not need anything extra before we do this. I think that in as much as we are all worried about the fact that we must take corruption seriously, we do not have to rather create something that will add to cost. Have you asked yourself why government contracts are very expensive? It is because people will have to grace palms of people at different levels before their projects are approved. And we are going to add another layer. It is needless. It is another avenue for people to fleece contractors and add to the cost of running government. Unnecessary.
Okay.
All right. Tomorrow.
Us.
I think
we have just 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and you want us
to
move on to the next topic?
We
have why? It is a very important.
In all your submission, it is a very important. Your subject, because I spoke first. Most of your submission was based on the things I said.
What you said.
It was more or less a rebuttal of the things I said. So I think
it
would be fair on your part. You see, Fifi, in a very mischievous fashion, decided to take some of the things.
This is the second time I'm referring to me as a mischievous person.
When I say,
the propaganda secretary of NDC referring to someone as mischievous.
I was very quiet when I say the economy was in deep crisis. I mean, the economy we inherited from the MPP was a total mess. I think that is an incontrovertible fact. Because for the first time as a country, we have been so fiscally reckless in borrowing that we had been crowded out of the international bond market, right or wrong. We had been crowded out of the international bond market. And the international bond market was one avenue that government used to finance a lot of its flagship projects. In fact, within a period of 8 years, the Baumia-led economic management team borrowed almost $12 billion from the international bond market. The NDC as a party did not have that luxury. So right from the get-go, it means our avenues for financing most of our flagship project was limited. That when I say we inherited a mess, I mean under the MPP, under the IMF program, government was restricted for 3 years from going to raise bond on the domestic market. That was another avenue government could use to finance a flagship closed. Quite apart from that, we inherited an economy that has been rated junk by all the credit rating agencies. It affected investor confidence in our economy and led to a debt overhang of 726 billion from 120 billion. So when I say the economy was in a mess. I'm talking about the.
They don't say it was.
I'm coming, please,
so
please.
Why are you
when I say the economy,
it's something that happened in the past.
Please allow me.
No,
you see,
please, you do
please
not
allow
move
me
away from what you said. These are
sometimes it is very troubling. It is very troubling. Fifi Boafo is my friend. When you hear people like Fifi Boafo, who contributed immensely to the suffering of the people. Fifi was the manager of the CEO at Cocoa Board. Look at the mess they created at Cocoa Board. They left us a debt overhang of 32 billion at Cocoa Board. Jute sacks alone. They procured more than $100 million worth of jute sacks, more than we needed as a country. And quite recently, Cocoa Board have had to auction some of the jute sacks in order to even have space to store the cocoa it has procured. You people went for Fifi Boafo as manager of the CEO. You went for a $320 million facility from the African Development Bank to tackle cocoa disease of 156,000 hectares. At the time Fifi Boafo you were living, that money has been fully depleted. Only 40,000 of those hectares have been repaired. And you are taking 700 million of Cocoa Board's money in addition. And these are you disputing that fact? You went for $320 million. I'm coming. You see, you went for a $320 million facility from Cocoa Board to tackle cocoa disease of 153,000 hectares. By the time Fifi and his boss were living, that 320 million had been fully depleted. Only 40,000 hectares had been completed, and they had taken 700 million of Cocoa Board's money on top. So if Cocoa Board is on its knees today, if Cocoa Board is struggling today, it's because of some of the, I don't want to say irresponsible decision Fifi Boafo and his boss took. Now Cocoa Board is saddled with a road contract, a road commitment obligation of 27 billion Ghana cedis. Out of the 27 billion Ghana cedis, 21 billion was done in 3 years, 2019, 2020, 2021. And it was those times they were giving contracts to Wuntumi and Apalu when they were changing names from Puma to Puma under the watch of Fifi Boafo. And these are the new found apostles of good governance. My goodness, I think if we want to talk about the Ghanaian economy and the predicament we are going through now, people like Fifi Boafo add salt to our injury, because they are the reasons why we found ourselves in this mess. The NDC government was saddled within the 4 years. Moro, listen to this statistics. In the next 4 years, the NDC government has been saddled with a debt servicing obligation of 150 billion domestically and $8.7 billion externally. And most of these debt obligations were as a result of the restructuring, where most of these debt obligations that were due to be honored by the Akufo-Addo government was restructured, was front-loaded to 2026, 2027, just to give them fiscal space and burden the incoming government. The government is clearing all this mess that you have created, and you have the guts to come and lecture us about good governance. He made, I'm coming. He made this. He made, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
You spoke in more than 5 minutes, and it's only fair. It gives me the.
So in rounding up.
I'll bring you.
In rounding up, just keep calm. Just keep calm. You see, the MPP, all of a sudden, the MPP that has been the architect of the economic mess in which we find ourselves. The MPP that has plunged us into this abyss cannot all of a sudden reinvent themselves as apostle of prudent economic management. And if we would want to take a lecture on good governance and fiscal prudence, definitely we will not take it from Fifi Boafo and his boss, Joseph Boahiedu, who has plunged Cocoa Board, which has a positive asset of 1.8 billion in 2016 to a negative asset of 3.8 billion in 2024 and budgetary commitment of 32 billion. We will not definitely take economic lectures from Fifi Boafo.
Please use the rest of the 5 minutes so I can bring in my My school homecoming people. Yes.
Okay. This conversation is about the challenges government is facing in addressing the issue of wage bill of the country. It is very, very interesting to now become a conversation about Fifi Boafo. Well, no. Please, I listen to you. So this conversation is not about Fifi Boafo. And Fifi Boafo was not chief executive of Cocoa Board. So that's by the side.
So you are distancing. You are even not proud
of
the record of your boss. So now you are even distancing yourself from your record at Cocoa Board.
Discipline yourself.
These are friendly interjections. No, you are my friend. You are my friend.
So he decided
that you are not proud of your record at Cocoa Board. That you are distancing yourself. Okay. He's my friend. He's my friend.
Run away from the issues at Ministry of Finance, government inability to manage the economy such that it takes care of its responsibilities, and now move to some prepared script made up of falsehood as a defense. So let me start with the falsehood he talked about. He says Cocoa Road contract at Cocoa Board is 26 billion. That's a lie.
Commitment obligation at the time that you saddled an
it is a lie. It's a lie. Allow me to make a point. Okay. You peddle falsehood. Okay. Allow me to correct you. That is not correct. Those contracts, government had given an indication that considering the challenges, there was a need for a rescoping. Rescoping had been done, and the commitment is 4 billion. He sat here and said,
"You said rescoping, so it was after rescoping was done."
Would you listen?
Most of the contract that has not been
discipline yourself, chief executive.
But you are.
Abbas, let him tell us what he knows.
Okay,
please. Okay. Let him tell us.
So he peddled falsehood. So let me correct him. He talked about the fact that USAS contracts have been awarded. So because of that, yes, something wrong has been done. Anyone who has worked at Cocoa Board will realize that USAT contract takes a period before they are delivered because of the quantities. So the moment you decide to award contract, the year, as in whether 2023, 2024, you have a problem. So the contracts are always awarded ahead of time, such that they will be delivered in time. The people who say that awarding contract to buy USACs for cocoa is wrong, decide rather to buy Land Cruisers for themselves, and they think that that is more prudent management of cocoa funds. These are the people who are talking. These are the people who are talking. And he's talking about prudent and them doing the right thing. For these people, whatever they said when they had power, when they were looking for power, and what they do now that they have power, they are not prepared to be judged by the marking scheme they set. Rather, they decide to go on attacking people and make throwing in complete falsehood as a way of justifying the challenges they face today. There are people who said sole sourcing contract was something that was criminal. Today, they are the apostles, they are the people who are awarding sole source contracts. The people who said even tarmac, awarding it on sole sourcing was a problem. Sami Jemfi, his boss, today, he is now awarding sole source contract for people to construct a kitchen. Jade,
which one is that?
What has Sami Jemfi awarded any sole sourcing contract? You see, that is the fallacy the MPP has been going around.
Would you listen? I was here listening to you.
You are now delving into uncharted territory by I'm coming. It's not sole sourcing. It's restrictive tendering.
So wait a minute. Are these not the persons who said that easy things that can be awarded?
By restrictive tendering, the same as sole sourcing. No. You have made a false statement.
Would you allow me to make the point
to withdraw?
Are you the host?
Do you accept that
sole
sourcing is not the same as restrictive
I agree.
tendering? Yes.
But I'm
so you admit you got it wrong.
What was the standard? What was the standard? Please. Nurdin, I'm not taking lessons from you. Obviously, I won't take lessons from a propaganda secretary.
Fifi is eating back his own words.
The last thing I will do is to take lessons from a propaganda secretary.
Okay.
I'm not here to do propaganda. Okay. The people who said that awarding contracts, if you want to avoid corruption, you open it up.
That's fine.
What are they doing today?
That's fine.
Oh, the people who talked about the Japa, do you know what they are doing today?
Okay. So Master Planner, your friend, Master Planner Junior says, please tell my brother Abbas that they should stop the arrogance of power. and nobody can speak or criticize them. You're messing up the cocoa sector and you don't want us to talk. Mobo Accra, Master Partner, Junior Policy.
Let me land.
I beg.
No, you gave me 5 minutes. You rudely interrupted for 3 minutes.
Alhaji Hamza from Fake Fast. Good morning, my brother. My brother Abbas has spoken well this morning, and I am particularly happy when I heard him speak about the efforts being put up by the president to create jobs for the youth of this country. More truly so.
No, you didn't
President
talk about
Muhammad that
government
I know
was not creating jobs.
has a good plan for the good people. Has a good plan for the people of this country, and trust me, he's going to deliver. But my problem here is that some of the appointees appointed to help him deliver these beautiful ideas are not living up to expectations. Some of them have become too powerful, power drunk, and disrespectful to the grassroots of the party. And the earlier something is done about it, the better. More, President Muhammad will not be on the ballot paper in 2028. Let's think about it. Is Fifi aware of that? And the economy was rated as junk economy, and today rated as B-. Unfortunately, I will have to go because our time is up. Fifi, I'm so sorry. No, we have to do. I give you 5 minutes. I give you 5 minutes. In fact, I timed you. It was 5 minutes exactly. But you said everything that ought to be said. Interrupted. It took some 10-15 seconds. But you do this yourself all the time.
But the point is that the people we blame for badly managing.
Okay, I've told you your sound is actually off. Your sound is off. Your sound is off. No, you said this already. Anyway, let me. Anyway, what's here?
Yes, so
how far? What do we?
Mr. Bafu, good morning to you. Let's relax you this morning.
Please ask him what school he attended.
Yes. So we're going to get you relaxed. Let's get ourselves relaxed this morning.
No, Phoebe, he was.
All right, so Phoebe,
he wants to find out from what school you attended.
What school did you attend? Senior high, Tamale.
Yes.
Takwa Secondary School. Okay, and then how about you?
I went to a Okes.
Okay.
Attended by Otunfo.
Okay. So that's how you want to go about it.
Yeah.
So you just beating him this morning. Just so you get to know, he's just beating you. Because he actually added some advantage to calling out his school's name. That's what we're doing here. And you only said Tapa. And he added an advantage to mentioning his name.
When you have a challenge, okay, when you are selling a product and you require extra accolades to make it sound good, then there's a problem. If it's on its own, it's enough.
You don't feel some full propaganda overdrive this morning.
It's because this morning you are battling it out. So that's how I'm saying that.
It is Takwa Secondary School, and that is sufficient.
Oh, really?
You do not have to now say that, Otunfo went there. At least that is to give him recognition. That is to give him recognition. That is to give him recognition. You do not have to give him recognition. On its own, it's enough.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is School's Homecoming Show on Metro TV this morning, and we're starting 9:30 to 10:30, and we've already started. Thank you very much, Moro, and I'm so happy that every Thursday we get to come here and we talk about the schools. We're going to take a trip this coming weekend to the Volta region and then also Eastern region. And Moro, do you know the schools that are coming?
Talk to me.
We have Provo Girls right here. We have St. Augustine's, and then there's also Amfonga. I hope I mentioned the word Amfuenga. Thank you very much. I've been struggling the whole day trying to mention this very particular name. Amfuenga Senior Secondary School. They're also here, and we'll be recording them and talking to them about what we'll be doing. Okay. And this weekend we're going to go to their school and we're going to be there with them and let the whole world get to know what they're doing and in the legacy projects also. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to introduce our wonderful guest so that we can start the conversation right here.
The great thing.
trendybeats.com.